welcome to the Musical Chairs Podcast, the only podcast that invites you to pull up a chair and take a listen. I am in a hotel getting ready to do a trip, and I'll be doing, hopefully, an episode of the podcast from the West Coast, so stay tuned for that. And we have more Smashing Pumpkins drama to unveil here. Been on that for quite some time, and I'm wondering if maybe I should start a channel just dedicated towards the Smashing Pumpkins, as they are going to be back, and I obviously love them so much. So it was announced yesterday that the Smashing Pumpkins were going to go on a tour called the Shiny and Oh So Bright Tour. The tour is going to feature Billy Corgan, James Iha, Jimmy Chamberlin, and Jeff Schroeder. There is still no Darcy Retzky on the horizon for this tour. But something that Billy has said, he said, some 30 years ago, as the Smashing Pumpkins, James Iha and I began a musical journey in the cramped rear bedroom of my father's house. And so, it's magic to me that we're able to coalesce once more around the incredible Jimmy Chamberlin to celebrate those songs we've made together. So what does that mean for the fans? What that means is that the Smashing Pumpkins on this tour are going to be doing songs from the first 5 records that feature Jimmy and James in some way, shape, or form. So that will include Gish, Siamese Dream, Mellon, Collie, and the Infinite Sadness, Adore, and Machina. Although Adore didn't really feature Jimmy. Jeff Schroeder is going to be in the band, and he is, he's not, I don't think he's technically part of the band. I think he's a hired gun, but he's there to provide texture and to provide signature tones, is what they call it. So he's going to be playing guitar as well. No official word on the official touring bassist, and I'm just going to leave that alone because, well, I've spent way too much time on it. They're going to be doing a 26-city tour of the U.S. They're going to be hitting Chicago August 13th and Indianapolis August 17th. Those are the days I might go. So I'm looking forward to coming to terms with what's happening and figuring out a way to justify why I should buy a ticket. So I figured, what better way of me to justify this than to pick 5 songs that the Smashing Pumpkins better cover if I were to attend the show. And we're going to go one song from each of the 5 records. And we're going to go in backwards order. We're going to start now with Machina. Now, Machina is a very interesting record. That record signals the end of the Smashing Pumpkins as we knew them, the classic lineup. Jimmy had been rehired and reintroduced back in the band. And Darcy left towards the end of the recording of that record. So the record's a bit uneven. That record was supposed to be a double album from everything I've read, and it was supposed to be a concept record. However, we only got maybe half the songs. The record musically is hard to follow because there's not an even storyline with it, and therefore I feel that we missed a lot of things along the way. Now, typically on the Smashing Pumpkins tour, a lot of the songs have been played. I remember their final concert at the Metro, and I remember them playing a lot of stuff off of Machina. So this was going to be kind of hard to pick a B-side that I think needs to be played. I may not be able to go with the B-side, so what I'm feeling right now is probably we're going to need to hear The Imploding Voice. The Imploding Voice is my choice for that record. I think that's one of the better songs off that record. It's traditional Pumpkins, in my opinion. There's just a traditionality to Jimmy's playing and the riffing that Billy plays in there. I think it's really good song. So we're going to go with The Imploding Voice. Next, we move on to Adore. Now, Adore is a fantastic record. We see the absence of Jimmy Chamberlin, who got fired during the Melancholy tour for a drug overdose and just being unreliable. So they decided to record without him, and it's very much felt on this record. Now, when this record came out, it did go platinum, but it was not well received at the time. Now it's much better received and considered one of their best records. I think it's not a very guitar-driven record. It's got a little bit of electronica in there. It's got a little bit of just traditional piano and voice. A lot of the outtakes are from this record, if you ever check them out on the internet. There's some really good songs, and it's just good songwriting for the most part. The one song I would like to hear played, and it does get played a lot, or used to be played a lot, was Shame. I did a cover of this song, and that song is dope. It's just a dope song, very emotional, and I'm really excited to see that song being played off the record. Next up is the ubiquitous Mellon, Collie and the Infinite Sadness record. Double record, actually. I believe it's still the best-selling double record of all time. So this is right before everything blew up in the record industry. Now there's 2 discs worth of really good songs. I mean, just top to bottom, love this record. I'm going to say record to include both discs. Love it all. I even like the cheesy Farewell and Goodnight and Beautiful and Lily, like the more stripped down songs. I actually like those songs too. So I can take it down. And we get to hear Jimmy sing, which is rare, very gruff singer. For this record, everything has been played off this record during the Melancholy tour. So there's not a song that I believe can be passed up, honestly. So what would I personally want to hear? It's Jelly Belly. I've never heard Jelly Belly live, personally. So I want to hear that Smashing Pumpkins guitar army, super fuzzed out, super crazy drums. I want that track to just, boom, hit me in the face, and I want to feel old school Pumpkins with that groove in there. That song is just, to me, awesome. Now we get to the commercially successful and really the gem in the Smashing Pumpkins catalog, Siamese Dream. I love this record. This is the record that I listened to first. Well, that's not necessarily true. This is the first one I listened to repeatedly, and this is a record that I hold near and dear to my heart. It was the first record that I listened to where it didn't leave my tape deck for at least a year, 2 years at least. I mean, when this record was out, I was just learning guitar, and I decided that I was in a cover band, not really a cover band, I was in a band that had to cover songs, really putting it. And we decided to pick a few songs. We learned a lot of Nirvana songs, and I knew that the song Today was really popular and being played on the radio, and I decided to listen to it. So I dubbed the CD from a friend of mine. I dubbed it onto a cassette, and I didn't even listen to it. I just went to record it, and I turned the volume down and waited until the CD was done, and then I grabbed the tape and ran out. And put it in my tape deck, and I remember hearing the sonics on this record. And the sonic just composition of the record, Butch Vig's production is phenomenal. It still holds up today. It defined an era, really. And I love this record top to bottom. Again, this entire record has been played ad nauseum since 1992-ish. So there isn't a song where I could be like, yeah, that's the B-side. So I'm going to, again, go with what As Nelson Wants to See played. I'm going to have to go with Hummer. Hummer, for a long time, has been my favorite song off that record. It's the record where, I remember listening to it in my car and hearing the bass, feeling the bass and seeing how the bass propelled the rest of the song, and I was like, yeah, good with that. And finally, we get to my favorite Smashing Pumpkins record, Gish, their debut record. Now, this record, when it was released, was kind of a stepchild, a wicked stepchild of the music industry at the time. Actually sold a lot of records. It was selling really well independently. It was on the Caroline record label, which was a subsidiary of Virgin at the time. And for an indie record, it did really well. And then this one small band called Nirvana put out a record called Nevermind and just destroyed the records that came out before it. So this record is cool because this is still very much in that psychedelic transitionary period between when the Pumpkins first started out. They were more of a goth band, like a weird bad goth band, and what you hear in Siamese Dream. So this is a cool transition, a cool record, literally, in time of where they were at musically. For this record, there is a lot of this I've never seen live. So I'm always excited to see anything played off this record. So this would be a crowning achievement for me personally if I were to go and they played songs off of Gish. A lot of songs off of Gish, that would make me happy. So if I had to pick one hard, it would be Bury Me. Now with Bury Me, I love this song. It's really the drumming and the guitars, everything about it. But it's the drumming that I really enjoy, because Jimmy does his signature left foot hi-hat move in eighth notes, and him just adding accents, when it's open, him like throwing those in, and those make such a difference with those songs, especially Pumpkin songs. And he has these rim shots that you have to play. Like, I remember watching, the Pumpkins of New, and Mike Byrne. Yeah, he can play. It wasn't that he was a bad drummer. It wasn't Jimmy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they played "Bury Me" at one of the meet and greets, and it was like, okay, like he didn't hit when you want to hear that rim shot that Jimmy plays, like that rim shot means something, and it makes the song better. And "Bury Me" just has it all over the place, and great guitar solo, and everything in it I love. I just love this record, top to bottom. So if they played "Bury Me," they could bury me and I'd be happy. What do you think? Do you think they should play other songs that are not on the first 5 records? Should they play songs like "She" or "Come On" or "Stars Falling"? Or should they play stuff that's after Machina, stuff from Machina 2 maybe, like "Crash Car Star," or "It's the Celestials," or even what's that latest record, "Monuments"? Should they play that new stuff, or should Billy be just like pretend like that never happened? It never happened. Billy and James weren't a part of it. I don't know that stuff. So let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Do you like the choices that I made? Do you have choices of your own? Put those in the comments. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel as well, and ding on that little bitty bell that's right next to the subscribe button so you can get notifications as to when I'm putting up new records. Anyway, I'm going to hopefully do some more videos in the future from the West Coast, so look for those. And I'm your host, Nelson Velasquez, and thank you for watching.